If you've spent your Saturday morning on your knees pulling weeds out of your garden bed, I need you to stop for a second and ask yourself something. What if weeding wasn't actually necessary? What if the reason you're out there every single week isn't because gardening requires it, but because your beds are set up in a way that basically invites weeds in? I'm not exaggerating when I say there are gardeners out there who haven't pulled a single weed in years. Not because they got lucky, not because they spray chemicals everywhere, because they built their raised beds one specific way, and that one decision changed everything. Today I'm going to show you exactly what that method is, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why your current weeding routine might be completely unnecessary. Here's what you're going to walk away with today. You'll learn the exact layering method that stops weeds before they ever get a chance to sprout. You'll understand why raised beds are already halfway to being weed-free, and how one small mistake most people make cancels that advantage out completely. You'll also learn how to keep this system working for years with almost no upkeep, and the one ingredient you should never, ever put in your beds if you want to stay weed-free. This isn't about working harder to control weeds. It's about setting things up once so weeds simply don't have a way in. That's the whole idea behind stress-free garden living, and today, you're going to see exactly how it works. If you've ever felt like gardening is supposed to be relaxing, but instead it feels like a second job, you are not alone. So many people get into gardening dreaming of fresh tomatoes and beautiful flowers, and instead they end up fighting the same battle every single week. Weeds. It's exhausting, it's discouraging, and for a lot of people, especially those with bad knees or limited time, it's the number one reason they give up on gardening altogether. That's exactly why this channel exists. We believe gardening should give you energy, not take it away. And the method I'm about to show you isn't some fancy trick. It's something regular gardeners, including plenty of people in their 60s and 70s, are using right now to enjoy beautiful, productive gardens without the backbreaking maintenance. Before we get into the main method, I want to tell you about one ingredient that seems totally harmless, something you might already have in your shed or garage right now, that could be quietly filling your beds with thousands of weed seeds. I'll tell you exactly what it is and what to use instead later in this video. Trust me, this one might surprise you. Let's start with understanding why weeds even show up in the first place, because once you understand this, everything else will make sense. Picture a typical garden bed. The soil is exposed to open air. Every time the wind blows, it's carrying tiny weed seeds and dropping them right onto that bare soil. Every time you till or dig into that soil to plant something new, you're doing something you probably didn't realize. You're bringing old, dormant weed seeds up from deep in the soil to the surface, where they finally get the sunlight they've been waiting for to sprout. So really, traditional gardening beds are almost designed to keep producing weeds. Exposed soil plus digging equals an endless cycle. Understanding this is the first step, because now we can build something that breaks that cycle completely. So here's the method. This is the part people call the secret, but really, it's just smart layering, sometimes called lasagna gardening. And once you see it, you'll wonder why more people don't just do this from the start. You begin with a base layer of plain cardboard or several sheets of newspaper laid flat across the bottom of your raised bed. This is your foundation, and it does one very important job. It blocks light from reaching the soil underneath. Weed seeds need light to germinate, so if they can't see sunlight, they simply stay dormant and never sprout. On top of that cardboard layer, you build up with a mix of compost and organic matter, and then finish with a thick layer of mulch, at least 3 to 4 inches deep. Straw works wonderfully here. This thick top layer does double duty. It smothers any weed seeds that land on top from blowing in with the wind, and it locks moisture into the soil so your plants stay healthier with less watering too. Picture your raised bed right now. Instead of patchy soil with weeds poking through in random spots, imagine a smooth, tidy layer of mulch, dark and rich looking, with your vegetables or flowers growing up cleanly through it and nothing else. That's the visual you're working toward. And here's your action step for this part. This weekend, if you're setting up a new bed or refreshing an old one, start with that cardboard base, then build your layers on top before you plant. Now let's talk about why raised beds specifically make this whole method even more powerful, because this is something a lot of people miss. When your garden bed is raised and contained, you're not just dealing with the soil on top. You're also protecting the sides, surrounding lawn grass, gravel paths, and weedy edges cannot creep into a raised bed the way they can with an in-ground garden. There is a clear physical boundary. On top of that, because you're filling the bed with fresh soil and compost rather than digging into old ground, you're not stirring up decades of dormant weed seeds that might already be buried down there. This is one of the biggest reasons raised beds naturally have a head start on staying weed-free, especially when they're paired with the layering method we just talked about. Picture your raised bed sitting there like its own clean little island, completely separate from the weedy chaos of your yard around it. No creeping grass, no surprise dandelions sneaking in from the sides. Your action step here is simple. If you're building new beds, make sure the frame sits high enough, at least 8 inches, to create that clear separation from the surrounding ground. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds great in theory, but surely you still have to dig around in there sometimes, right? Actually, no. And this next principle is honestly the one that trips people up the most, so pay close attention here, because getting this part wrong can undo everything we just talked about. This is called the no-dig principle, and it might be the single most important habit to build. Once your bed is layered and planted, you never till or deeply disturb that soil again. Instead of digging up the whole bed to plant new things each season, you simply tuck new plants into small holes, right through the mulch layer, disturbing as little soil as possible. Here's why this matters so much. Remember what we said earlier about dormant weed seeds waiting underground for their chance at sunlight? If you leave the soil undisturbed, those seeds stay buried and stay asleep. But the moment you till or dig deeply, you flip them up to the surface, right into the light, and suddenly you've got a fresh crop of weeds all over again, completely undoing your hard work. Picture 2 neighboring beds. One gets dug up and turned over every planting season. The other just gets a light top-up of compost and mulch, with small planting holes poked through. After a year, the first bed is full of weeds again. The second one still looks just as clean as the day you made it. That's the power of leaving the soil alone. Your action step: when it's time to plant something new, resist the urge to dig deep. Just create a small hole, place your plant, and pull the mulch back around it. Let's talk about one more layering trick that works beautifully alongside everything else, and that's spacing your plants tightly, sometimes called intensive planting. Instead of leaving big open gaps of bare mulch between your vegetables or flowers, you plant them closer together than traditional gardening advice usually suggests. As they grow, their leaves spread out and create a canopy that shades the soil underneath. Here's why that matters. Any stray weed seed that does manage to land on your mulch still needs sunlight to grow. If your plants are spaced closely enough that their leaves are blocking that light, those weeds simply can't get enough energy to establish themselves. Your own plants become a living weed barrier. Picture a bed that looks lush and full, almost like a green carpet, with barely any visible soil or mulch at all because the plants have filled in so nicely. That's not just prettier to look at, it's actively working against weeds for you. Your action step: when spacing out your seedlings, tuck them a little closer together than the seed packet suggests, leaving just enough room for airflow and growth. Now here's a mistake I see constantly, and it's the one I promised to tell you about earlier. A lot of people think any compost or organic material is fine to pile into their beds. But if you're using compost that hasn't fully broken down, or if you're using hay instead of straw, you could actually be introducing thousands of weed seeds directly into your beautiful, carefully layered bed. Hay is essentially dried grass that's often full of seed heads. Straw, on the other hand, is the hollow stalk left over after grain harvesting, and it's generally seed-free. Always look for straw, not hay, and make sure your compost is fully finished and dark, crumbly, and earthy smelling, not fresh or half-rotted. This one swap alone can save you from accidentally sabotaging your own system. Now let's talk maintenance, because zero maintenance doesn't mean zero care ever. It means the care that's required is minimal and simple. Once or twice a season, usually at the start of spring and maybe again in midsummer, you'll want to check your mulch layer and top it up if it's looking thin, especially in spots where it's broken down or gotten kicked around. That's really it. A quick top-up, maybe 20 minutes of your time, twice a year, compared to hours of weeding every single week. Here's the tip that ties this whole system together, and it's the one most people never think about. The real secret isn't any single layer or step. It's consistency in leaving the system alone. Every time you resist the urge to dig, till, or tidy up, the soil, you're protecting the barrier you built. Most people fail at this method not because it doesn't work, but because after a few months, they get impatient and start digging around out of habit, undoing months of progress in a single afternoon. If you can trust the process and let that mulch layer do its job undisturbed, you will be amazed at how little you need to do after that first setup. This is the difference between gardeners who fight weeds forever and gardeners who set it up once and simply enjoy their garden from then on. So let's bring this all together. Weeds thrive because of exposed soil and disturbed ground, but a proper layering method blocks light and stops them before they start. Raised beds give you a natural head start by containing your soil, and the no-dig principle keeps dormant seeds asleep where they belong. Tight plant spacing adds a living shield on top, and choosing straw over hay keeps new weed seeds from sneaking in through your own materials. Put all of that together, and you get exactly what the title promised, weeding that quite simply disappears. This is what stress-free garden living is all about, working smarter, not harder, so your garden gives you joy instead of another chore on your to-do list. If this video saved you from a future of weekend weeding, do yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel, because this is exactly the kind of smart, low-effort gardening advice we share every single week. You deserve a garden that gives you more with less stress, and that's exactly what we're here to help you build. I'd love to know, which of these steps are you going to try first, the cardboard layering or switching from hay to straw? Let me know in the comments below. And if you know someone who's ready to give up on gardening because of endless weeding, share this video with them. It might just change the way they garden forever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.